Joining me now with more is Keith Irizarry. He's a host on MLB Network, NHL Network, and ESPN, as well as a contributor on SNY. Keith, thank you so much for joining ahead of what's going to be a busy holiday period, as well as the football games that are on the menu. So let's kick it off with the Lions here, tied for the best record in the NFL. They've never made it to the Super Bowl, though. Do you think that can change this year?
Hello, Kristen, and happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I look at this Detroit Lions team, and you have to be excited. They took a step forward last year under Dan Campbell. This year, they have arguably the best offense in all of the NFL. Jared Goff is now thrust his name into the MVP conversation. Jahmyr Gibbs is fourth in rushing yards, becoming one of the better runners in the NFL. David Montgomery, when he's healthy, is a dynamic duo partner of in this backfield. And then you kind of look at the wide receivers too, Amon-Ra St. Brown and the rest of them, they're good. Defense is awesome. Also, jump around the NFC. I'm not that afraid of the Niners this year. The Vikings, the Packers, the NFC South. The Eagles could stand in the Lions' way, but Kristen, I would say this. I think this is the year for the Lions to get to the Super Bowl.
Oh, I like that. I think a lot of Lions fans watching across the country, Keith, they're going to be happy to hear that as well. I want to talk some of the QB action. I know you're a fantasy football expert as well. We've seen a lot of action, that is, when it comes to contracts on the QB space this particular season. How dependent is this league on the quarterback?
So I think there's a lot of ways to look at this. From a fantasy standpoint, actually, running backs kind of become more important for your rosters there. But in the real NFL, the best teams have the best QBs. The Kansas City Chiefs have won back-to-back titles. Guess what? Patrick Mahomes is their quarterback. The Bills are one of the best teams in the NFL. Guess what? Josh Allen is their QB. The Baltimore Ravens are a team that people think could make a run to the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson is a back-to-back MVP guy. And then, of course, we just mentioned the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff has been fantastic. So I still think the NFL is very dependent on the quarterback. And I'll go even further, Kristen. The last 11 NFL MVPs, they've been quarterbacks. It goes to show you that the league loves their quarterbacks.
Absolutely. Let's head down south, Keith, to Miami. The Dolphins' fast-paced offense, it's better this year, but they've won 3 straight games. Do you think that the playoffs are a possibility for the Dolphins and their fans?
You know what? I'll say yes, and here's why. So Tua Tagovailoa went out with the horrific concussion earlier in the year. A lot of people wondered whether or not Tua would come back. He's back. They haven't lost since he's under center. Now, Thanksgiving's going to be tough. Tua and the Dolphins, Tua is 0-7 when it's 33 degrees or less, freezing basically. Guess what? The temperatures are supposed to be 33 degrees or less in Green Bay on Thanksgiving night. So we'll see if they can turn things around there. But for the Dolphins, they've got the Jets on their docket twice. Mm-hmm. That could be 2 wins. You got the Texans who've been up and down. You got the Niners who have been up and down. I think the Miami Dolphins could make a run to get into the postseason. And once they're there, their offense is quite dynamic.
Very quickly, Keith, the Raiders, Chiefs are going to play in the NFL's second ever Black Friday game. How successful do you think an annual Black Friday game can be, and what's your expectation for Friday?
Kristen, I love the Black Friday game. I love a standalone game. Last year you had the Jets and the Dolphins, a rivalry matchup. They're doing it again with another Raiders-Chiefs rivalry matchup. When you put one singular game on, all the eyes are on that game. I think the NFL is nailing this.
All right, Keith Irizarry, great to have you. Wish we had more time, Keith. Happy football viewing this holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you.